All right, testing. Mic check. Mic check. 2 2 2 2. Let me do a mic check real quick. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, so my mic check was good. All right, my apologies, y'all. Let me cut that off. Yeah, so I was having a bunch of technical difficulties over here. All my settings is different. It seemed like every time I don't go live for a minute, it seemed like every time it never fails. Yeah, every time I don't go live, man, it get to tripping. So hold on, let me see if I could pull all my stuff back up. Yeah, I'm talking about all my settings. Even my microphone settings was off. Like, it's crazy how that happens. But anyway, OCO everyone. I hope you all are doing well. You going live? Hey man, listen. Oh, for real? Y'all so funny. OCO. No, it wasn't even YouTube this time. It was just, computer technical difficulties. Like, it was just, like I'm saying, like my settings in here was just, everything was out of order. And it shouldn't have been like that. I keep everything the way it's supposed to be. I don't change anything. When it comes to that, I don't. Everything stays the same. Like right now, I'm sure y'all not even hearing music. My music not on it. Not my music. My music. What myth is that? My music not even in there. Look, luckily my camera working. You know what I'm saying? Luckily. Man, I'm over here. I'm almost scared to hit the sound effects. I'm almost scared. Let me see what's gonna happen if I put something on the screen. Let me
Set
just.
it on fire.
Okay. All right. Now, if I drop a bomb, how it's gonna act? Let me. Okay. All right. I mean, so far, notifications going off. All right. That's cool. I mean, that's good. All right. So, what about the round of applause? Is that going? Okay. All right. It's over here faking, chat. It's acting like it's trying to work. Nah, but y'all just don't know. I was going through some technical difficulties trying to get this thing going, but yeah. It's almost like I gotta go live back to back, man. Blue, I appreciate that. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate that. Yeah, all my little, and I'm sure my little effects not in there. Watch this. Can y'all hear me? Like we good on the effects? It should sound like a reverb and an echo. It should sound like I'm a DJ. Is that on right now? Y'all tell me the truth. Don't have me sounding all crazy. Is everything work? So y'all got the echo, right? All right, come on, chat. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Set it on fire.
And who was that with the gifted? Ether, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate that. Shalina, Shalina, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. All right, man. So let me cut this echo off. Let me cut that off, right? I need some spooky music in the background. Hold on. Not spooky. I ain't trying to scare nobody. Hold on. Not spooky. I need some music though. Some music. Y'all know y'all know my new Resident Evil getting ready to come out, right? Resident Evil 9. I gotta wait till February for that. But, let me just, Y'all know how I am. I don't know if it's playing in the background. It may be too loud. Oh, now I think about it. It may be too loud because my settings is off. Don't lie. Is that music too loud in the background? Don't lie, chat. That music too loud? Wait, it says somebody just, y'all said it sound good? Okay. I appreciate that. Sylvester, thank you for the 26 months. I was waiting on this show. Yeah, we about to get into it. We about to get into it. Indigenous Stallion, thank you for the 10 gifted. I appreciate that. Oh, let me, oops, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been in here. Shirley, OCO Shirley, how you? 57 months in a row. I appreciate that, sister. Senshi Salute family. HRPO, North Carolina. And Annie M44, 13% from Civil Rights to Human Rights 2025. And it's good. I'm glad that you brought that up too, Miss Shirley. We about to get into that. Spirit, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. You said it's up. Yeah, I hope my sound effects working. I don't have my headphones on, but I am hitting sound effects like.
It's go time, Slim.
So hopefully all that's working. Blackbeard, thank you for the donation. I wish you would've put a comment in there. Like, I don't want to, unless you don't want to say anything, that's fine. But if you guys are going to donate or anything like that, definitely put some comments up in there, please. Put some comments up in there. My boy be cutting up in the Hellcat. What you think the Hellcat for? Trail, thank you for the donation. Much love from Dallas. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Dallas. It's hot today in Texas. Texas, how I feel. Look, the real Texas gonna tell you it's normal. You know, I'm from DC. You know, the Texas heat ain't the heat that y'all get. Texas heat on a whole nother heat level. You know, whole nother heat level. Anybody scream black? Chrissy, you may have to come back, leave out and come back in. It could be tripping. Maybe time for an update too, Chrissy. I ain't trying to put you out there like that. I'm just saying that update probably long overdue. You was too lazy to go to the store, to the little cell phone place. That's what that was. Don't lie, Chrissy. I didn't get around to turn the background music down just a bit. All right, hold, wait a minute. Thank you, Blue. Hold up, because the background music don't have the it don't got the background music master on it. Putting it on there now. We should be. Boom. All right, that one should be good to go. Another thing. All right, so when I start playing these videos, y'all gotta tell me if it's loud enough, because I also gotta manually go in there and adjust my settings to boost the volume up. Unfortunately. I wish I could take care of that right now real quick. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yes, I can. Hold on, I can take care of it right now. So we won't have that problem. Hold up. Wait, Ashley, you gotta stop texting. I'm live. My sister. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. The boost is a limiter. And how far do I boost it? Do I boost it that high? We'll see. Once y'all tell me, then I'll make the adjustments. All right, so let me play Let's go into it now, y'all. Let's go into it, cause it depending on how chat act. It's a few things that I want to go over when it comes to this topic. But let me play this video to get you up to speed. Some of you all may not be paying attention to the news, and that's okay. I'm not gonna beat you up on that. I don't blame you. It's the same old, same old. But at the same time, this is important. I'm gonna be playing this video. Y'all gotta tell me if y'all can hear this or not. Okay.
We can now promptly file to proceed with numerous.
Hold up, I can't hear my damn self. Wait a minute.
Policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, and some of the cases we're talking about would be.
Hold on, my boost not on. Hold on, I'm trying to. I know. I see y'all. I'm trying to boost the volume up. I apologize. This ain't gonna happen next live stream. Yeah, but all my settings got changed, y'all. I apologize. We should be good to go now.
We can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, and some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which.
Y'all can hear that, right? Before we go any further, y'all can hear that? That's way too low? Still too low? Man, all right, here we go. I got it right now. Okay. All right, let me see. Boom. Okay. All right, so let me keep this open so y'all can tell me if I need to make adjustments. Hold on, let me move this over so I can see. All right. Look, matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all live. Y'all get to see this. So let me know, right? Let me know if I need to turn this up, chat.
Now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come
Is that
into the
good?
country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean.
Now that's
so
good.
obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case.
Turn it up some more.
Hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason.
That's
it was meant
loud.
for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this
Right
decision,
there, right?
we can now properly file to proceed
Way
with
better.
these numerous policies. And
It's good. Okay. All
those that
right, so let's start from the top.
we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the
It was meant for the babies of slaves. We're going to be talking about
country
this.
on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there.
The end of the Civil War. In fact, it started at the end of the Civil War. I talked about this so many times, documentaries, throughout the live streams. It's a few other videos I'm going to play because I want y'all to see how a lot of y'all got this whole thing wrong. Like, y'all think this is working against us, and you got a whole nother thing
win
coming.
that case because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers.
I'm not going to lie. All that right there is critical.
Freezing unnecessary funding, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement.
Suspending refugee resettlement. Do you know that's all the immigrants coming over here to seek an asylum? Keep in mind what he's doing is stopping he's stopping the immigrants from becoming citizens. Okay. By what he would think, and a lot of y'all should too, by fraudulent means. Now, I know some of y'all will say, well, damn, they ain't all of them came up under this joint fraudulently. I'm going to tell you right now, the whole system is fraudulent. The whole citizenship system is fraudulent. Told you that. Showed you. Wasn't nobody that was of a different race a part of citizenship in America from 1790 to 1952. The only person or status that was considered a citizen from 1790 to 1952 was white. Showed you the record. I'm talking about multiple times. Put that up on screen. That should have been red flag number 1 to you. So you should be thinking like, dang, wait a minute. When did we become citizens? Our ancestors did not become citizens of America until the 1960s. I'm gonna let that sink in. Problem number 1, becoming a U.S. citizen. Because again, and I always bring this back to y'all to let y'all think about this part, because think about it. If you became, and what you did, you became a citizen in the 1960s up under what class? First class, second class, third class. Back in the day in the 1960s, we was fighting for first class citizenship. Did we get it? No. So what class do we fall up under? Look, this is so important because everybody got a feeling. Okay, for example, they'll say that the government actually did harm to us by imposing poverty on our communities, for example. Now, I agree with you to a certain extent. Here's why. Because we did it to ourselves before the government even had a chance. We gave the government the permission to do this stuff to us once we became citizens. Citizenship been a problem. Been a problem since the 1600s. Citizenship been a problem. Keep in mind, citizenship don't mean that you are indigenous to a landmass. Citizenship is a group of people who are governed by a government. And they got, if y'all hear my computer acting up, is update after update popping up. I told y'all. I'm looking at it right now. I got some things I got to do when I get off of live. Put it like that. And I'm probably gonna go live again tomorrow. But yeah, update after update popping up. Look, it's live. Y'all hearing all that? My computer like, damn, you waking us up now? You want to use it? All right, this need an update. That need an update. Watch. But anyway, so the point is, Our people made a mistake in the 1960s. Big time mistake by allowing our people. Okay, hold on. Let me further explain that. And I have in my videos anyway. I know some of y'all mad. Dane, why you keep repeating yourself? Because these hard-headed people not well, no, it took y'all this. Okay, let me not get on y'all. Don't do that, Dane. Don't get on them. But it took them so long. It took them so long to catch on. My work been out there for 10 years. They repeating stuff I did years ago today. And don't get me wrong. I'm thankful for that, but god damn, bruh, please hurry up. Please. We got foreigners claiming that they indigenous to our landmass. This gotta stop. I'm talking about, think about that now. Every video you come out with and you talk about your own people, why are the foreigners in the comments? We didn't ask for their opinion. Think about that. We ain't asked for your opinion. Keep your shit to yourself. What you doing looking at my video anyway? We ain't over there looking at your videos. When the last time you want us to scroll through TikTok and look for some white creators on what? Some various topics like, unless TikTok showed to us, we ain't gonna go looking for them. Why y'all looking for us? What is the issue? Because you scared. We were born with our birthright. Listen. We were born with our birthright. You were born with it. This ain't got nothing to do with citizenship. You shouldn't have to wait until some foreign group or entity classify you as whatever they want to classify you in order for you to gain your birthright. No, that's God-given. That's creator-given. Some of y'all gonna say Allah. Some of y'all gonna say Jesus. Some of y'all gonna say Yahweh, Yeshua, Yah. You know who I'm talking about, right? That's who gave it to us. This ain't got nothing to do with no goddamn government at all. The only things that should be governed is ourselves by ourselves. Nobody should be governing us. That's not how it works. Especially not no foreign entity. I showed y'all the day that the Supreme Court straight up said that they not trying to rule on what a U.S. citizen is. In other words, they did not want to define what a U.S. citizen is. Listen. Think I'm playing? Hold up. That's, oh my God. That just exposes everything. Hold up. Look. Read it. Read. No, not that ad. Come on, NBC. Supreme Court declines to rule on what makes a U.S. citizen. So if you, okay, for example, right? For example, if you had no idea what a U.S. citizen was, the Supreme Court don't want to tell you. The Supreme Court ain't gonna tell you. That don't raise a red flag to you? Ding, ding, ding. This brand spanking new, by the way. That was just June 13th, 2016. Brand new. So if they couldn't figure it out then, This is why Trump came after that. Because it exposes everything. If you can't determine, and it's another thing that they said on here. They talked about the territory. Hold up. Look. The Justice Department said the U.S. territories are not, quote, in the United States within the meaning of the Constitution. So only Congress, see, look, y'all, only Congress can confer citizenship. Only Congress. Again, this was 2016. And see, everybody gonna blame it on Trump. But Trump know better. So does his lawyers. So does his administration. The U.S. Supreme Court declined Monday to decide who becomes a U.S. citizen at birth. Declined Monday to decide who becomes a U.S. citizen at birth. Again, this ain't brand new. This been a problem. I've been saying this. Tell me, what do you get out of being a citizen? What do you get? According to everybody that I know that look like me, y'all saying that we ain't got no rights. And look, and what I say, I agree. Because why? You calling yourself black? You calling yourself African American? Look up a law. Any legislation now, pick it, that say that blacks and African Americans got rights. And think Trump don't know. He gonna use the same type of terminology you using. He know who built this country.
African Americans built this nation. We built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that.
You just started to get real credit for that. Again, that's why I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out with Trump. Because it's not like this. It's not like he don't know. He do know. But that should go to show you that everybody else do too. We are the indigenous people of this landmass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Some of y'all may use abbreviations, FBA, B1, A, and all the rest of the ADOS. Listen, the whole point is that we are indigenous to this landmass. Use the terminology that they put in their dictionaries back against them. They called us Indian. Use it against them. We were the first ones called Indian before India was called India. You go back and look at these dictionaries that they were using that predates these dictionaries that's out here now. You gonna know who they were calling Indian. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The term black had to was referring to Africans. And it wasn't about their skin complexion. Look, was referring to Africans. And it wasn't about their skin complexion. We the only ones getting reclassified over and over and over, and you don't see the problem? They can't ship us back. But meanwhile, they kept trying to tell our people we came from Africa. What you mean they can't ship us back? No. If you say you African, right? Go ahead. I dare you. Go ahead. You see them brothers and sisters over there in Africa? Come on. Oh, that's my American friend. We got you, no problem. Just come over here. We're going to take care of you. No, don't you worry about that. Stop. Put your hand down. Come back to the motherland. They're not going to be open arms waiting for you. I say brother and sister. The reason why is because they share the same skin complexion, but that's the only thing that we share. Okay, I'm lying. We share certain similarities. Music, especially. But definitely, you can tell a difference between an indigenous American and indigenous African. Whoever lied and told you that Africa populated all land masses, whoever lied and told you that, you need to get over that lie. Number one, that was a theory that was never proven. Why y'all still running with that? I proved out of my 10 years being on this internet doing the same thing that we are indigenous to this landmass here. And the government know it. Y'all got on Trump. When Trump was saying, oh, they don't look like Indians to me. Now, when you look, they don't look like Indians to me, sir. He was talking about them. And I showed you that. He wasn't talking about that. Nah, he talking about a particular tribe and they of color. No. One of them particular tribes was fake trying to sue me and lost, and they look white. Uh-oh. Huh? You talking about them? And lost? Fuck out of here. You think I'm gonna shut up about this truth? So anyway, I'm gonna tell you right now, and that's another thing. Like you got all these. Okay, now hear me out. Now, I'm not saying all foreigners are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that every foreigner got an issue with us. It's not that. But I'm gonna tell y'all foreigners right now that you need to put them other foreigners in check. If I don't see you checking these foreigners, you making yourself look weak. Like if you're a big time rapper, for example, right? You making millions of dollars off of rapping. And you don't call out them Mexicans that be saying the N-word like it ain't nothing. Everything straight, everything cool. Disrespectfully. And one of them gonna come out their mouth and say what they gonna do about it. What they gonna do about it? I'm from DC. If he would have said that to anybody in DC, he ain't leaving DC. He ain't leaving. You understand what I'm saying? The only way he leaving is in a box. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You disrespect any DC brother I know and think that they ain't gonna do nothing? You think Chicago something? You got another thing coming. But what they gonna do about, hey, Texas, you need to shut him up. Houston, you got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. He need his mouth closed. I'm not saying do any harm to him, but he need to get checked. You don't say no shit like that and get away with it. Otherwise, they will continue to do it and get away with it. And then why you think them foreigners in your comments are y'all TikToks? Because of shit like what Trump doing? I'm pointing at my other screen. What y'all see on this screen is my other screen. But what Trump doing? And look, matter of fact, let me, I'm on that. Let me play this right here. Hold up. Let me play this. As I saw this and said, what the hell? Okay, so shout out to the brother Soul Food, Black and Native. He posted this video. Hold on, let me turn this up. Okay, y'all can hear that on that side. So it's on this topic, right? Notice how it's saying he posted Black Americans is birthright citizenship issue. Wait. No, he worded that improperly. But is basically birthright citizenship an issue for Black Americans? Here we go.
So I don't know if y'all saw the recent Supreme Court ruling. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry. But they sided with the Trump administration on nationwide injunctions, which was what was preventing birthright citizenship.
Hold on. Can y'all hear this? Hold on. Y'all can hear this, right? Two. Oh, my mic is up way high. Ooh. Hold up, y'all. Why y'all ain't tell me my mic was up that high? My bad, y'all. Mic was in the red. I looked at my Neve in the red. We did? Shut up, Edward. You ain't supposed to admit that. Shut up, Edward. Oh, let me turn the mic down. Hold up. My mic in the red. Two. Okay, that's a little better. That's better. That's better on my side. All right. Okay. Was y'all able to hear what she was saying right here before we go any further?
Trump's birthright citizenship executive order from going in effect.
Okay, because she about to give her little sob story, and I'm not trying to cut her off. I want y'all to hear the whole thing. Y'all got it? You just put your headphones on, that's why? You probably didn't hear for real. I couldn't hear nothing. I'm talking about Trump. Mike was on Trump. Matter of fact, Mike was on Trump. Don't you know how Trump don't care if it's Mike loud, he gonna tell you anyway? But see, the problem is with America, he'll talk all the way up on the mic like that. I'm not the only one, okay? But my bad, y'all. I apologize. But was y'all able to hear what she was saying? Were we good, Blue? Or Levante, any on that? I'm talking about this video right here.
Essentially,
y'all know I ain't lying. That's why y'all laughing. We were good? Okay, all right, let me stop on the top. Okay.
I don't know if y'all saw the recent Supreme Court ruling. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry. But they sided with the Trump administration on nationwide injunctions, which was what was preventing birthright citizenship. Which was preventing Trump's birthright citizenship executive order from going in effect. And so essentially, it's a 30-day pause before whatever guidance they put out will go in effect, which essentially means that you can't do a nationwide injunction to curtail some of his executive orders, which essentially means that it puts 250,000 children. It puts 250,000 children in limbo. And we know that they don't want to stop there. They've already been trying to position to put U.S. citizens in foreign jails, which we know a lot of that will be Black and brown people. And the Supreme Court basically said that they can rewrite the Constitution unilaterally. So it seems the only way to protect yourself or your child, and like, I'm trying not to cry, but as a mom, it's hard to imagine you not knowing if your child is safe. Citizenship is like the bedrock of the Constitution. If you're born on the land of the United States of America, you're a citizen.
And that's not how it's supposed to be. You just stated the problem right there. That's not how it's supposed to be. Like, for example, if I was indigenous, and I am, being indigenous to this landmass, and some European female come over, we end up having a child. That child shouldn't be automatically a U.S. citizen. You can disagree. Y'all could be, but you keep in mind, it's like a relationship without boundaries. Otherwise, that means anybody from anywhere can come over here and have a baby and then U.S. citizen. Listen. Keep it. Am I lying? That means anybody from anywhere can come over here, have a baby. I'm gonna make a U.S. citizen. And that's it. You're a U.S. citizen. Is that right? Absolutely not. If I was to go to Japan and I holler at a Japanese woman, we settle down, make a baby, does that make that person a Japan citizen? A citizen of Japan? Hold on, I can't hear you. Hold on, huh? I can't hear you. Hold on. Wait, say it again? Oh, say it again. Okay, so if I get with the Ethiopian woman, we settle down, have a baby in Ethiopia, does that make our baby an Ethiopian citizen? Wait, what language is that? Say it again. I couldn't hear you. Huh? Chat GPT. Oh. You still trust the Jet?
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
You still trust the Chat GPT? Dane, I got Chat GPT worked out. It go off of my command, Dane. Yeah. That ain't nothing new. And so does Google. Why you think Google biasly gives you what you want? These are algorithms programmed to like what you like so they can sell it back to you. That don't make it right or wrong. That makes it questionable. I got a feeling this girl a foreigner. And see, the problem is that, again, our people have not set any boundaries up. And we allowing these foreigners to make pretend like they us and speaking for us. That gotta stop. That gotta stop. Like, for example, I like Candace Owens, but Candace Owens a foreigner. I'm just saying. I hear that she's telling the truth, but let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. See? Where the people at that's in positions of power that's indigenous to this landmass? Anybody this government put in positions of power, they got dual citizenship here. All the way down to the internet. So what JC online. Notice that. The people they make go viral ain't from here. That's everywhere, y'all. That's not even in just movies, it's actors and actresses. That's everywhere. That's in social media too. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. Is there a problem with me speaking about it? It shouldn't be. I'm just pointing out the obvious. All these people mixing in with our culture just so they can fit in, and they got some say-so? Oh, is this the same reason why we don't have control over hip-hop right now? I'm not saying who was allegedly participating with us. We know how it started. We went through what we went through to get our voices heard over here, even before hip-hop came. That's why I like Sinners, the movie, and then again I don't, because why are you mixing all this African stuff in it? That ain't got nothing to do with it. And the engine right there. Again, I liked 99% of that movie. The 1% of that movie I didn't like was that African crap. What was that? Well, hip hop not even based off of African beat. They got their tempos, we got ours. There's no hate towards them. They make great music. I like me some hey. Yeah. But nah. That ain't American. Respectfully. Trust and believe, if I throw a beat on, they dancing. They throw a beat on, I'm dancing. Like, it's all of us do move to the beat of the drum, but don't think for a fact now that everybody got that from Africa. Like, who sat there and watched what tribe dance and say, let's run to Africa and do the same thing? I mean, America. Let's run to America and do the same thing. As we see the Africans. What Africans did it? They weren't called Nigerians back then. Who you talking about? I can't hear you. The Liberians, Americans. They don't count either. Them Liberians, their ancestors came from this landmass. I'm just saying. And then the Latino culture, right? They always say that our people look more like Cubans and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and it's true. It's true. But we also look like the Mexicans, the El Salvadorians. Look, they look like us. They look like us. We don't look like them. You could tell when a generation has changed with a people when you don't see no melanin anywhere in that race. That's how you could tell. A lot of those people are a mixed breed. And again, since they couldn't penetrate us by mixing into our race to the point where they're going to become dominant, they mix in like this, like what you see here. This is what I've been talking about this for years. Matter of fact, look at our video on the Harlem Renaissance. Killed it. Told you. It's going all the way back to the Willie Lynch letter. How do you think they made the Negro? And keep in mind that Harlem Renaissance was what? The new Negro movement. The new Negro. They had to make a brand new you. Every single time. This is happening all over again. And meanwhile, she got a wig on, hiding that wig with something she got wrapped around her head. I got long hair. I know that's a wig. I can tell the difference. You can't do that to my hair. And then whole time, you know, she could be a foreigner. Now, I'm just saying, ain't nothing wrong with foreigners speaking up, but this don't mean that they speak for us. We got to set boundaries.
So for the court to put out this order and then not even comment on the merits, which essentially puts all us in limbo, it takes years.
No, it don't. That's false. It put all foreigners in limbo. Not the indigenous people of this land, man. They get rid of citizenship, what's going to happen to you? You going to get sent back. We going to be right here looking at the white people also getting sent back. Oh, yeah, because it counts for y'all, too. Then y'all ancestors come from Europe? Some of y'all came from Africa? Don't play like this don't count for y'all neither. Don't try to put it all on Mexicans like Mexicans the only immigrants. That's what I didn't like. I know some of the Mexicans like, hey, man, y'all need to speak up for us. We did that already. We spoke up for everybody too many times. That was the problem. What you think civil rights was about? Integration. Desegregation. Integration. Desegregation. We made our mistake doing that. Trying to help everybody else out before we can help us. And then we fell for the bull crap. The so-called first-class citizenship dream. Because you ain't treated equally. If you was treated equally, why are we fighting for equal rights? And they got the nerve to turn around and say it's your birthright. It's not your birthright. You have your birthright. Your birthright ain't got nothing to do with citizenship. Nothing. That's somebody determining that you fall up under their government because you were born in whatever area that is. That's not God, the creator, determining, hey, you're a resident right here in my kingdom because you was born here. That's not that. So when you say that this affects everybody, you lying. It only affects foreigners. In which it should. Them same foreigners willed us in the 1960s, especially 1962. And our people lost everything. Unfortunately, they couldn't do that to the full-fledged adults. They had to do it to the vulnerable children. And of course, I'm calling them children because they still didn't know no better. You know how the terminology is say, you know, y'all know, the young and dumb. They were nothing but college students being led astray by the Dixiecrats. And the majority of our people got the nerve to be Democrats. Y'all are crazy. That's why I don't understand. I'm like, okay, it ain't no pick a side. They the same side. They the same thing. They kicked us out the Republican Party so bad that they got rid of the rest of them that was still alive with the KKK and the Night Riders. And got rid of the whites that was helping them. As soon as they came out with that 3/5 clause, that should have raised the red flag for you. Wait, 3/5 of a human being? Who are you to say this? Civilly. See? But they was learning for the British company, right? The British India Company. British India Company. They need to be held responsible. The London Company. They need to be held responsible. Virginia Department of Historic Resources. They need to be held responsible. The Continental Congress of the City of Washington. They need to be held responsible. Congress ain't nobody to be telling you how to govern yourself. Congress literally means a group of people assembled. It's an assembly. Congress does not mean that they have the right to dictate. Remember how people kept saying that Trump is a dictator? So what's the government? What's Congress? Look, what's the pharmaceutical industry? What's the Food and Drug Administration? What about the FCC? Huh? Homeland Security, all of these people, what are they? The DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, what are they? And look, here's another thing. This how you know that you're indigenous to this landmass. The foreigners don't have a social security number. I dare you to tell me if I'm lying. I'll wait. Island, thank you for the cash app. No. Listen. Not birth certificate. I said social security number. You want to talk about taxes? Let's stay right there real quick. Another reason why you would want Trump to do this. Ain't you paying taxes? Now tell me why you being taxed differently from any other foreigner out here, no matter their skin complexion. Automatically, if you male or female. You never thought about that, have you? You and that white man could be working the same job, and that white man always gonna get paid more than you because of how hard you're being taxed, compared to him being considered white by the status that they placed him up under by way of his citizenship, the status up under this government. Look, that African woman, that African man that you're working with won't ever compare their check with yours because they also tax differently. They're also considered white by the U.S. Census. Their citizenship status is white, not African. See, and that's another thing. You calling yourself African American, but you ain't even receiving the benefits that the Africans get for coming to America. That's why they laughing at you, calling you lazy, calling you all sorts of names behind your back. The same thing go with the Latinos. When they speak in Spanish, talk about you while you right there in front of them, they making fun of you. Why you think that is? Because you have not set boundaries. TikTok mad as shit at us. As far as the indigenous people of America, they mad. And I'm not talking about TikTok, the company. I'm talking about them foreigners on TikTok. I'm talking about in their feelings. And we just teaching our people innocently now, teaching our people about our people. And they in the comment section. For what? Who are you? Bot accounts and everything. That's how you know we indigenous to this land, man. They making it obvious. They scared. What that got to do with them? It has all to do with them. Because once our people wake up and realize what really happened to us for real, especially based off of the information I put out alone, there's other people that's doing that thing too, that's putting this out. I'm talking about the information I put out alone gonna make you want to do something here. Gonna make you want to do something. There's no way they should get away with this. There's no way. And it wasn't that long ago. Again, citizenship going back to the 1960s. Citizenship goes back to the 1960s. For us, prior to that, We were not citizens of the United States. Notice how they said the birthright, citizenship, and 14th Amendment. Listen to the difference. The 14th Amendment don't grant you citizenship. That's why they can't define what a U.S. citizen is, because it's not about that. It's about who they want to control. That's a status. Now, some of us will say social construct, but that's based off of the name they chose. But technically, that is a status that they put you up under. For example, if you did hold on, let me do a real life example. Oh, here we go. You got a driver's license. You got pulled over, drunk driving. They taking points off of your driver's license, right? Your driver's license may not be suspended, but you got a different type of status that you up under when it comes to your driver's license. So if you do get pulled over the next time for the exact same thing, your ass going to jail. The reason why, and people ain't even cracked this code, but I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why the police officers were treating us so wrong in these different communities, especially our own, is because they redlined those communities. Don't forget that redlining also has to deal with voting. And I broke this down. Redlining is not only about, we got to vote this elector in, and they said, about your credit as well. Like, what line of credit do you receive? It's not just about that. I'm not saying that it's not about that. It's not just about that. Redlining also has to deal with the territory. How they're going to treat the people out there. Keeping you in line. This has to stop, y'all. If y'all really want change to happen, kick them Democrats out. And look, I swear, I'm not saying go to Republicans. I'm not saying that. But historically speaking, them Democrats should not be in your community. Historically speaking. I'm not saying that Republicans is out of the water. But Democrats? You tripping. If you don't know your people's history, you need to look that up. Those night riders and KKK members were receiving flashcards with people's names and addresses on them that they had to go pluck out. And that's when you saw the lynching. It was them. And I remember I said that before. Where you think the term lynch came from? The Willie Lynch letter? What you think? Again, it's going back to the same thing. Making a new Negro. If that Negro is not in line, they're going to make a new one. That's what they doing right now. And I'm glad that Trump see that. Not only do Trump see that portion, he also see how much money the government's making. Keep in mind, most of those jails are private. Those private jails, for example, will get $3,500 to $4,500 a head inside of that jail. That's why when it comes to our communities, the jails are full, overcrowded. Because they making money off of you. Why are the jails private? It's a private entity. They don't want you to track its money. That's why a lot of people work in private. It's about not tracking the money. Because you know what people will tell you? Follow the money. Trump is doing that. Keep that in mind. Trump following the money. The Doge situation not only exposed the government mishandling the money, it exposed that the government was handing the money to other foreign governments. Not only the governments, but also their people. There's no way in the world these people should be receiving immediate benefits higher than ours, and we don't got none. Okay? And we don't got none. Listen, y'all, the LBGTQ community who are of my skin complexion, who are of color, who is indigenous to this landmass, don't you get treated the same way we do? Look, and don't forget that y'all supposed to have, no, that right stuff right there, the LGBTQ community only work for certain races, not yours. Not yours. Oh, I mean, you get to marry a female you want. That's it. That's it. When it comes to discrimination type stuff, they're not looking at you. They're not thinking about you. You still in the same boat we in. And that's what Black Lives Matter exposed. Remember how Black Lives Matter was separating the families? And remember when I showed you on their original website that when they said, and it had that little bracket that said black families, the avatar was of one adult figure and two children and not two adult children. I mean, correction, two adult figures and two children as their logo when it came to black families. That was immediately letting you know they trying to get rid of the so-called black man. And come to find out it was nothing but LGBTQ, whatever you want to call women at the head of that. They got millions of dollars in your donation and left. And they do a goddamn thing. And they were foreigners. They were foreigners. Look, the NAACP. What the NAACP doing for us? What has the NAACP did for us other than take our money? The same thing with those pastors and preachers that when we go to church, what they doing for us? Real talk. They got, look, like people, for real, you gonna get mad, but for real, look how long we've been giving them our money. And then y'all want to turn around and say, buy black, buy black, buy black. Really? Like that's gonna make a difference. When our people are not disciplined, our people gotta be disciplined. We gotta set boundaries. We gotta say enough is enough. We tired of the schemes. And them pastors and preachers that got them churches, they ain't even paying taxes. So they taking your money tax-free. But we be getting on the celebrities. Man, they make all that money and they don't be doing nothing for us. Shoo. Them churches, buku money. Longer. Longer than them celebrities. Way longer. Before there was school, there was Sunday school. Classroom setting. It came from Sunday school. To sit down at a table with a little desk on it, lined up in a row, that came from Sunday school. That came from the church. I'm just saying, listen to all those churches that we give our money to in all of our communities, and not one time. Not one. Now, what they would do is throw a cookout, fundraiser, take you on a trip. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The men going here, the women going here. Somewhere to go have fun. Like, oh yeah, we did something with the church. They're about the community. No, they not. No, they not. Your pastor better not have a Bentley. Your pastor better not have a Mercedes. If your pastor don't got... Hold on, let me be careful about what car I'm about to pick right here. Your pastor better be on a bus and train, goddammit. Okay, let's give him a car. I ain't trying to offend nobody that may have a car that I'm about to say. I'm trying to use it wisely, y'all. Hold on. I was about to say Geo Metro, but they don't even make them no more. But your pastor ain't even supposed to be in no $50,000 plus vehicle. And that community ain't straight. No, come on, y'all. What's up with these pastors with these boats, jets? Tell my son, praise the Lord. And church, and I'm talking about every saint getting buku money. Buku. Tax free. And we ain't saying none of them yet. But we got the nerve to get on these rappers. That's why I be mad at people that be like, it's the music. It's before the music. Y'all been saying the music since the Mississippi Delta days. The Mississippi Delta days, y'all been saying it was the music? Yeah, and them white folks came up in there and said, oh, we can make some money off of this. And they sure did. The same thing now. They been ran the industry. It wasn't just rap. They been running the industry. We let it go. We got greedy. We let it go. It was before rap. We gotta take accountability on that note. That was us. That wasn't nobody else. But they ain't the Jews. Yeah. They the ones with the money, right? They know how to money talk, right? Don't they say money talk? They know how to make it, you know. They gonna talk. Right? NWA broke up. NWA broke up because a Jew came in, right? Right? Now, some people will say that it was their fault as to the reason why rap changed. Rap got gangster right after them. When niggas with attitude, right? True. That's true. But who promoted that, okay, was somebody that said, okay, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not. And it worked. Prior to that, rap was all about positivity. But who's to say that that wasn't their positivity? In other words, they was going through that on their daily basis. They wanted to speak about pain. Nowadays, it's people in the industry they're plants, they're placed there to continue that narrative of our brothers and sisters fighting and killing each other on song, on record, because that's a negative affirmation. We calling each other words and everything. Our people got to take some accountability for the things that we did, that we decided to do. And we allow all these foreigners up in here. No, oh no, they cool because they grew up with us to say the N-word. They cool. They grew up with us. They could say the N-word. No, boundaries. If we don't want no white person saying that, why we want another white person to say it? Yeah, Jimmy cool, but Charles can't say it. Yeah, Jimmy cool, but Diablo can't say it. Boundaries got to be set. Right now, we freestyling. We free falling. This got to change. This is the reason why I'm glad my generation of people are stepping up. My generation of people stepping up. Okay? Because, okay, don't get me wrong. Y'all sisters and brothers in y'all's 50s and y'all 60s and 70s, y'all made a mistake during y'all time. Y'all made a mistake. This is nothing. I'm not saying nothing against you, but that's when the mistakes were made. When y'all was born in the 1960s, that's where the mistakes was made. The blackity black, we was making too many mistakes. And we was being led astray by foreigners back then. And then before that, the Harlem Renaissance. The new Negro movement, we was being led. Look, see how they got us with the arts then? Wasn't all about arts and entertainment then? Same thing with the next generation after that? Oh, we get to take pictures. Come on, the news media is paying attention to us. Arts and entertainment. They were focused on the visual to create the picture. That's conceptualism. They took control over the picture you saw. That's controlling the narrative. Through newspaper, magazine, radio, television. They went ham and film. This is still going on right now. Well, look, again, I don't have a problem with foreigners, but why all these movies that got to talk about our indigenous people got foreigners playing our roles? Because they want to fit in. It's not like we ain't got no good actors and actresses. Yes, we do. But that's not what Hollywood want. Again, they still trying to replace you. That's why I said you got to take back your birthright, not Trump, not no U.S. Supreme Court. Your birthright is what you were born with. And you know what your birthright is? Who you are, goddammit. They can't take that from you. They trying. They're trying to take that from you. They've been trying, telling you to go back to Africa. Nigga, you go back to Africa. That's where you came from. The Afri tribe was nothing but pale faces. That's why that landmass was called Africa, because you called it that with 2 Ks. You love the letter K, don't you? It wasn't the letter C, it was the letter K. That's how you figure it out. 2 Ks. Just like the language was Afrikaans. Don't that got a K in it? And it's still Afrikaans. And there ain't nothing but Dutch people speaking that language. Talking about something they African. Okay, be African. Go ahead. The real people that we consider Africans don't consider themselves Africans unless they speak in English. That's the only time they say that word. If they speak in English. Every different country of that landmass consider that continent a totally different name. And that name is not called Africa. Or they don't use Africa as the continent. The name of that continent. Red flag. This stuff can be pulled up. Our people just got to stop allowing all of this stuff, all these mishaps from happening, and start setting up boundaries. You got to start stepping up to the plate. And I think that's the reason why part of my team was afraid of me to start going on different platforms and start speaking like this. And start, to let them know that, especially our people, that they need to, stop horsing around with it now. Stop beating around the bush. Like, for real, you've been letting too many people walk all over you for so long now. Since the 1960s. Shit, 1913. If we really want to, we could go back a little bit. I could go a little, I could go back. I didn't talk about the 19s, the 18s, the 17s, and the 16s. This is what I can verify. I'm not talking about we Hebrew, Muslim, Moorish. I'm talking about the stuff we can verify now. And I ain't talking about just in one book. I don't care if you get mad at me at that. I'm not that type of person. You're not going to swing me in no religious way. It's not going to happen. Keep in mind, you need to see what a religion is. It's the same thing as a citizen. They want you there temporarily. They don't want you there permanently. That's a resident. That's a citizen. Somebody in transient status. That's why they call it transportation. Listen, they called it transportation as the sentencing when they were getting rid of the foreigners from Europe, sending them to other land masses. It wasn't called immigration. It was called transportation. Facts. I've been put this out. Trump want to transport the foreigners. Now, specifically, that's going to affect all of them foreigners. But I think it's going to come to a point where it's really going to be about I'm going to say maybe about 2 million. Keep in mind, Obama got rid of 3 million. I don't think Trump going to get rid of as many foreigners as Obama did. I don't think nobody going to top Obama when it came to getting rid of foreigners. And then turn right around. And look, they then already replaced the million they about to get rid of. All those 4 years that Biden was in office, you know how many foreigners came over here? Trump lost count. I remember I was keeping up with his count. And how many millions of foreigners came over? He lost count. That 2 million ain't nothing. That's just scratching the surface.
To get to the Supreme Court. That means you can be a citizen in California, but you might not be a citizen in Texas. And we've already seen them use the National Guard.
It's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not supposed to be a citizen to begin with. Citizenship is not something to be thankful for. This is not, y'all putting it up high like it's actually doing something for you. Citizenship ain't got nothing to do with your right. If you got any right, why you got to go to court? Why you got to have a lawyer speak for you? Why you got to have an attorney speak for you? Why a judge got to judge if you right? I'm just saying. Think logically. That's what I'm forcing people to do. Think logically. Critically. If this was a great thing, why they got people up in place to bring you down? They got to check your credit score before you can get approved for a loan. And pick which loan I'm talking about. Insert example, whatever, pick one. Fill out this application. We'll call you if you approved or not. If you're not approved, we'll send a letter to your house to tell you why. We ain't even gonna call you back, and ain't no point. That's judging you. They said everybody living an American dream. What's the American dream? Has that been defined? There's millionaires out there right now that's going through it. Don't think just because they got money that solves all issues. No, it don't. The saying is money is the root of all evil, right? Because wait a minute, ain't that something man created? So we gonna say, we just gonna take any, we're gonna take any piece of paper and hold it up as currency. This is currency, y'all. And I want everybody to look at it as if it holds value to their heart. If you devalue their little currency in your mindset, what you think is going to happen to them in reality? If you create your own currency and hold that up in a higher value, then you hold up their currency, what you think that's going to do to them? Remember when they tell you to follow the money? Okay, follow the money and finish it. Finish what I was about to say. I want your spirit to talk through you. It ain't hard. You could do it. You could do it. These people not respecting us enough. These people not respecting us at all. That's the problem. We ain't set no boundaries. That's on us. That ain't on nobody else but us, y'all. And maybe I don't want to listen to that person because that person beating our people up. Shit, it's a whole rack of people beating our people up. That's why some of y'all got mad that me and Umar Johnson was going back and forth when he started it. All I was doing was responding. Right? Y'all didn't like that, man. We always got to be fighting. We always got to be fighting. We wasn't fighting. At least I wasn't. I said, okay, you talking all that trash, put your money where your mouth is. Let's see. But only a frog gonna run and hide. If you about the truth for real, you would have let that be known. But you ain't about the truth. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't be saying my African brothers and sisters. Oh, you giving props to these people that ain't even putting money in your pocket. And ain't enough Africans out there that can make you wealthy. In America. Keep in mind, them Africans coming to America to get wealthy. And what they doing? They turning it right back around and putting it into Africa? Can we blame them? Because every other foreigner is doing the exact same thing. So when we go out to make our money, are we giving it back to our community? They are. Listen. Notice how I always point out the problem and give you the solution right then and there. They doing it, we not. This ain't hard to figure out now. And again, I'm not gonna knock them. I would want them to give back to their family. This ain't no knock. Do what you got to do to provide for your family. And we gonna do what we got to do to provide for ours. But keep in mind, we handing our dollars, our money, our currency that we hold up high with value back to these foreigners now. And ain't circulating within our communities. Meanwhile, you want to say black, 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 buy black, black, black. Actually, everything went downhill as soon as you inserted that word and make it non-derogatory. Prior to that, that word was derogatory. That was just like you calling somebody the N-word with the ER at the end. All of a sudden it's great. That should make you feel offended if a foreigner call you black. Real talk. That's not taken away from nothing. As far as our culture and our history and our legacy is concerned, that I'm talking about us building this country, that ain't taken away from none of that. But it is taken away from, because it's a negative affirmation. It's stopping you from excelling. It's a negative affirmation. You can't see black. Why you think they skipping over you? Yeah, our people are owed reparations. Why you think they skipping over you? And we got politicians galore. Some of them may be foreigners. But we got ones that share our same skin complexion in there now. In that government. Both sides. I'm telling y'all, this government is not going to hold itself responsible for things that they did to our ancestors. The number one reason why is because we didn't set the boundary and tell them that's enough. It ain't no big, 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 or we owe this. It ain't that. It's forcing the issue. How do we do that, Dane? Create your own. They ain't gonna have no choice. Was it this government that we see right now recognized by a foreign entity to be considered a nation? Just like any other nation is recognized by a foreign nation to be considered a nation. Right? And ain't no we got to go outside of here and do it. We right here. That's what they don't want you to do. And then they want you to think that it's impossible. Something's going to happen to us, Dane. They're going to send in the military. No, they're not. They got away with it in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Social media wasn't around then. Ain't nothing like that. That ain't flying. Nowadays. And look, they ain't even want to be held responsible for that. The government. What makes you think this government for you? And they dissed those people in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Greenwood district. As if it was a sacrifice. It was their fault. They deserve what they got from the militia. And then people was asleep. Ain't know what was going on. And they riding around with heavy artillery trucks shooting in people's houses. You think they deserve that? And has the government been held responsible? Nigga, they use U.S. Army planes to drop bombs on them people. And you got the nerve to be crying about foreigners being deported? But you ain't gonna cry like how I cried when I learned about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and learned that it happened in more than one area. It happened in every state in America. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about the redlining. Where you think redlining came from? They wanted that oil in Tulsa. They saw that the Choctaw Indians had their oil. They wanted their oil in Tulsa. I'm talking about the real Choctaw. Choctaw. See? Killers of the Flower Moon. Y'all know who they talking about? They gave you a movie. I want you to see. I dare you to check and see if that was your family members. I dare you. They did something to make those women sick so they could take their land. That was a land grab. And look, and letting people like this. And remember I showed y'all that guy that was crying about the illegal immigrants being stripped away from their children and being sent back? Why are you crying for them? They wasn't crying for us. They wasn't with us shooting in the gym. They ain't go through Jim Crow. Where were they? Jim Crow. Where were they? Where were they before the new Negro movement? Where were they? In large mass now. Where were they? Come on now. Don't get it twisted. Them Latinos gonna back their people up. All them other people gonna back their people up. But when it come to our people, we turn the other cheek. The stigma out there is don't buy from a black person because the black person is not gonna be willing to give his own brother and sister a discount. You want a discount from your brother and sister that own a business. But when you walk up in an Arab store or a store that's being controlled by the Arab, one of them, hey, what's going on, my brother? You can get anything that you want inside of here. Hey, come on in. We need me to talk to you for a second. No, that's brand new. Let me show you. This is brand new. You can have anything that you want. A $500. All them people that y'all getting y'all jewelry from, brothers. All them people that y'all getting y'all jewelry from, brothers. I dare you to name me an indigenous jeweler. And do you know they got that from our people? All the gemstones, all the gold miles, the platinum that came from here. Why you think they was mining? That's from us. That's indigenous. Why you think we love jewelry? That's indigenous to us. Ain't nobody else. Ain't nobody else. Y'all think y'all doing something because y'all got a foreigner's name across your chest. I got on a Balenciaga. I got on the Prada shoes. And I look at you like you goddamn fool. You holding up the colonizers as if they designer. They the designer wear. They got the finest this and the finest that. That's why I was so glad that China aired them fools out. They said they getting all that from us and slapping their name on it. I was like, thank you. Y'all need to see that. Y'all right back. Well, let me go get this Birkin bag for 20 grand. Silly. It's not about that you can spend it. It's about you spending it wisely. That 20 grand could have got your parents some land. How many of y'all own the lot that your house is on? I'm talking like that. Meanwhile, whoever you got that loan from, Bank of America, own that lot, and you think that you own that house because you paying mortgage. They waiting until your ass die. Why you think the mortgage 30 years? It's all fraudulent. Your interest rates way higher than some foreigners on a house. I dare you to tell me you paying 3% interest rate on that. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you to show me that you paying 3% interest rate on that house and you indigenous to this landmass here. I dare you. And I told you how them Jews do it. No interest rates. None. How come there's a law, international law, for them not to have to pay no interest on a loan? None. Zero. That's not fair. Heater, Iska. Zero. For years. Listen, y'all. And notice how I'm talking about it was anti-Semitism laws left and freaking right. We wasn't hating them. What was the? That was more protection on their people. That's how you know who running it. Zero interest rates. Notice how people say you don't got no lawyer unless you got a Jew lawyer. That judge look up and see your lawyer Jew. The book's closing. I just seen it happen. One of my lawyers was, okay, more than one. It was oh, hey, mister, hey, how's it going? Hey, They recognized each other, books closed. Quick. No problem. They don't even gotta say nothing. All right, next case. What you mean? And we ain't doing that for our own people. So who is to blame, really? Real talk. And these are the tough conversations that we gotta have. How come that's not being talked about on a podcast, for example? Why is that not a trending topic on the things that we control for real? Notice how Say Cheese and what's the other one is being ran by 2 foreigners. Both of them Nigerian. One male, one female. Say Cheese in the Shade Room. Look, DJ Academic's a foreigner. Look at that. Vlad a foreigner. Adam 22 a foreigner. All these people foreigners. TMZ foreigners. The people that run TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. And we made all these folks rich. You don't think Mercedes should be cutting us a check? Man, Mopar, Dodge need to be cutting a check. Dang, you got a Mopar. You goddamn right I got a Mopar. But anyway, more than one. But at the same time, our people made it popular, just like we made, when we made Cadillac popular. Cadillac need to be cutting us a check. We the ambassador of everything that we touch. We are the trendsetters. We are the chosen people. Don't not move unless we make it move. That's real talk.
To go and usurp the governor of California. And the courts have already ruled in that situation that they have the ability to usurp the governor and use the National Guard if they feel like it. And we all read that executive order where he wants to do that. So you could essentially have ICE agents going into hospitals and ripping children.
You ain't crying.
Where does that stop?
You ain't crying.
He's starting with immigrants, but we know that's not their goal. The architect of all this was the Heritage Foundation with the use of Stephen Miller. With the
you wrote that down. You reading from a script. Notice how she keep looking to her right.
In order to quell that diversity,
look,
you have to essentially remove that population.
Right, you reading from a script.
So now it's immigrants. Next, it might be nationalized citizens.
You wrote this down.
It might.
Or somebody wrote it down for you.
And
look to the right real quick.
The amendment was made specifically because there were a bunch of slaves.
Look.
That did not have a place. That wasn't.
And then
So they had to
I swear to God, if I was to make a movie and you was trying, and this was your way of trying to show me your acting skills, you'll get dismissed. You're a horrible actor. I ain't see a tear drop. You understand what I'm saying? Not one time. I heard a bunch of sniffing and a bunch of pretending, and I see a whole lot of looking to the right, like you got something to read. Who's to say you ain't an agent getting paid? Listen, y'all, listen to how deep this gets. Who's to say that this person is not an agent getting paid to post things like this on TikTok to make it look as if our people are stating this? She could be a whole agent right now. Oh! And our people ain't gonna look into it. They ain't gonna think nothing of it. That baby is right. Don't make fun of her, dang. I'm not making fun of her. No, she is right. We need to have these people back. It's horrible. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
All people would be citizens. And essentially, all that's in limbo, as well as all of the other nationwide injunctions that we're putting as the Trump administration are now in limbo. The only option, it seems now, is class is to have a class action lawsuit, which takes a long time to farm, and you literally would have to have your name on that lawsuit to have any kind of form of protection. And there's no telling that the Trump administration won't argue that that class action lawsuit, that class, isn't illegal. Because let's say if you're not a legal citizen here, then what makes you, what was preventing them from saying that you don't also benefit from our laws and the ability to have class action lawsuits? I'm so sorry I did this crime. I just can't imagine.
You can't imagine what?
This is the reason why it goes back to, like, I don't understand why we can't have bold leadership in the Democratic Party. Do you see how far Republicans are willing to go?
What? This is how you know this person right here is definitely a foreigner. Hands down. There's absolutely no way. There's no way that you about to put this on all Republicans without putting it on the Democrats. There's no way. This problem with birthright citizenship was happening before they even existed. As two separate parties. You would want the Republicans, or anybody for that matter, to expose the truth. You don't want that to be bypassed.
That is willing to go this far to protect rights. To protect rights. These people are going so far to rip
Citizenship
away rights.
Is not a right.
Why don't we have any kind of leadership that is coming out to protect rights?
That's not a right.
Not? Y'all tell me what y'all think about all this in the comments. Again, I apologize for all the crime. I did not mean to do that.
We ain't see no crime. Stop repeating yourself.
That essentially Supreme Court has sided with.
Listen, actors and actresses. Crime should not get you nowhere. We need to start setting boundaries. You should be able to call out the real from the fake with no problem. And don't try to turn it around. You victim bashing. Victim of what? Victim of what? If anything, we a victim to her bad acting. How about that? We fell victim to her bad acting, okay? Oh! This gotta stop. This gotta stop.
30 days, everything just falls in limbo when it comes to birthright citizenship. Citizens, United States citizens, black people, white people, we're not safe in this country.
Stop. Hold on. Let me calm down, because I ain't trying to make it a. We ain't gonna turn it into I'm about to be bashing. We gonna turn it into education. Girl, you don't know what you talking about. You actually have no idea what you're talking about. This is the reason why you wrote it down. To try to make it seem as if your intel is correct on your opinion based off of non-factual assessments of what you believe is going on. Citizenship is not a right. You don't have the right to be a citizen. That's the point. Why you think that's being now, it's not over with, by the way, y'all. It's not over with. Like, it's still a process that they're gonna have to go through because they still gotta go through Congress. Don't forget that. Congress is the dictator in this sense. Congress says who is the citizen and who is not. It's not up to Trump. It's not up to the Democrats. It's not up to the Republicans. Well, in this sense, okay? But it's up to Congress. It's straight up to Congress. They got the final say so. That's been happening historically. I even pointed that out in that article. that happened in 2016. This is an ongoing issue. It's always been an ongoing issue. But birthright citizenship, getting rid of that has all to do with foreigners. Because those folks believed that it was their right to become a citizen because they were birthed here in America. Again, you don't have the right to become a citizen just because you were birthed here. That needs to be eliminated. I agree. That's how a lot of other foreigners became citizens. Fraudulently. It's been happening for years. It's been happening for a long time. So this is one of those moves, again, that I agree with Trump. Now, do I agree with everything that Trump do? No, actually not. But, it would be nice. I'm just saying, I'm going to just insert this right now. It would be nice if we set up our own. Because we already got our own line of communication that notice how all the foreigners want to just attach themselves to for some odd reason. They want to be just like us. We already know what the reason is. It's because we the chosen people, we're the trendsetters. They waiting for us to do something so they could copy it. That's what that's about. It's been like that for years. This ain't got nothing to do with me being against somebody. It's been like that historically. Always. Always. It never fails. And I love my people that much to let them know, yeah, you goddamn right. Everybody else copying you. Native Americans beating on a drum one time. Boom, boom, boom. And you know better than that. We on a drum way more than that. And I told you to stop using the term native, right? Didn't I? And guess what a native is? What? Watch this. A native is a person that's born in America. Wait a minute. Ain't that the same thing Trump getting rid of? Oh! Getting rid of the citizenship. Any person born in America is a citizen of America. Ain't that what Trump getting rid of? That's what a native is. That's what a native is. That's why I told you to stop calling yourself native, because that has nothing to do with you. You're indigenous to this land. You're not a visitor. Everybody else are visitors. Why you think he could chop them? Because they have no right to be here. Honestly, we can chop them. We don't gotta have ICE to do it. We could chop them. Don't y'all know, y'all brothers and sisters out there heard of the no-fly zone? You gotta come and check in. We need to be doing that to them. That ain't gonna fly over here. You need to come and check in. Huh? You need to come and check in. We gotta set boundaries. I'm telling you, it's free for all, and because our people made the mistake by not setting boundaries. That's why people made the mistake at. Hold on, I'm wiping my glasses off, but I'm just saying. We could do it, it ain't hard. It is not hard. And yeah, y'all gotta watch these people now. These people reading from a script. Some of them do it so well, they don't need the script. They would get right on that camera, act like they crying. Just like how they was crying during the time periods. Well, for example, Cali. Listen, when y'all was fighting for reparations in California, and I told you, I was like, for what? Yeah, y'all never went through. I said, matter of fact, go ahead, because it's going to expose everything. And I told you, I said, be mindful of who they hiring inside of the California Reparations Task Force. I knew that was going to crumble. I said, because have you seen any of their meetings? Notice how they said they did a Zoom call on all of their meetings, and that's not true. But not only that, that's not the point. That's besides the point. The point that I'm making is that they said it was going to be trillions of dollars, but the reason why it didn't go through is because the foreigners fought back. The foreigners said, no, we want a part of that money too. We've been here too. We've been here too. That's what happened. That's what happened in Cali. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even think Galvin Newsom was gonna do anything with that anyway. But, okay. But I'm just saying, they did have a task force and he assembled it and it went far. It did go far. But them foreigners was fighting. They ain't want y'all to have that. Let me see if I got this, let me see. And that was years of, I'm gonna be honest with you, what I really wanted to see what work they brought up. Because they said, keep that in mind, that they did a whole bunch of research. And I wanted to see that. I wanted to see how they fit in as far as Cali. Let me see that, please. Y'all talking about going further back. I was like, please let me see that. Nope, none of that was public. So who's to say, okay, that they grabbed anything? Why wasn't that made public when it should have been? In my opinion, we should have seen what you found, because every other state should have followed suit. That shouldn't have been brushed off and swept to the side. I want to show y'all something. Okay. Hold on, my bad.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, at the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. Which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further
their expertise in farming. We ain't get paid for none of this. That was us, by the way. I always bring this back up, especially at this time, because this is what got Martin Luther King taken out. This one right here. It was this one. It was this one. I know this one by, like, I have the original documentary. I got all this. I know where this was from. All of that. I know what church he was speaking in. All of that. They don't want this out, because this exposes everything. When you talking about birthright citizenship, and at this time that Martin Luther King was stating this, we weren't citizens. Whew. When you line up what happened and you see that we made a mistake and lost all of our lands and farms again on top of what they were already doing for them foreigners, you goddamn right we don't need to be helping them now that they getting kicked out because they're no longer a citizen, because they weren't to begin with. 1, 2, you goddamn right we shouldn't be helping them out because they didn't help us out right here. They got theirs. At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land. Where did that go? And the West and the Midwest. Then he explained it, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they receive the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Wait a minute, let me tell you who they hired to get that done. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. That was us. That was us. This was all us working for the government. Notice how our ancestors at that time thought it was cool that they got a government job. Look how they willed y'all in. I know y'all gonna be mad that I said that. But I'm talking about y'all know what I'm talking about. Them elders, y'all know. And y'all was sized up because y'all got that government job. They worked against you.
Expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms.
And he's saying our. Not their farms. He already said they, and noted that they, listen to how he said they, and listen to how he said our. This is how you know he was talking about us.
That they provided low.
They, you hear how he say they? Listen.
Low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms.
It's totally different. He's saying our farms. Today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars of federal subsidies, not the farm. And they are the very people telling a black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Martin Luther King went ham before he died, but by that time it was too late. Because it was Martin Luther King was the one that was leading us to become Democrat. It was him. Unfortunately. And by the time he noticed that his father was doing him dirty and the government was doing him dirty, it was too late. They took him out. They said, poor people's campaign. Swoop, you out of there. We're going to replace you with the Black Power movement. Don't forget that. It went from freedom now, and as soon as he died, then Black Power. Black Power wasn't around when Martin Luther King was around. That's why I asked you, those of y'all saying blackity black black, when was the Black Power? Where was the power? When? Show me where you had power being black. And he telling you then that you ain't have no power. He telling you then, and you ain't listen?
Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
Now, if we were supposed to be lifting ourselves by our own bootstraps, what does that mean? Keep in mind, we did that before. And every time we did lift ourselves up by our own bootstraps, it was foreigners getting jealous and made sure that they got in the way. Again, what I'm about to say, y'all, hopefully you caught on to the message for tonight's live stream. We didn't set boundaries. Because back then, at the time that I'm referring to, we had everything. We had our own communities, grocery stores, businesses, hospitals, churches, barbershops, salons, libraries, houses, condos, vehicles, parks, lakes, rivers, I'm talking about transportation, taxis, buses. We had everything. Yeah, see, that's another thing. Our people don't even know that. Our people think that we was always at the bottom. Our people think that we were always at the, and I swear to God, bruh, y'all need to check your own family. The majority of our families were wealthy. The majority of our families were wealthy. Mark my word. The majority of our families were wealthy. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why? Because we had the land. What Martin Luther King is telling y'all is the land grab. One of them, by the way, because it was more than one. But he was telling you that the government took your land and gave it to the
Oh!
You heard what I said? This is documented. These land grabs were documented. I went over 4 of them. And look, if I tell you right now that the civil rights movement was a land grab, ooh, you gonna think I'm wrong. You think that you got civil rights out of the civil rights movement. But wait. What's a civil right? We got birthright, citizenship. Do we have civil right citizenship? Wait, what's civil right? Civil. Civilized. Civilization. Listen to how deep this gets. You were fighting for something that you also had at birth. Wow. Again, something else that you already had at birth. I love y'all to death, and I'm trying to take it as slow as possible for it to kick in to certain people's mindsets. The civil rights wasn't for us. It was supposed to be, but it didn't work out in our favor. It worked out in who? The foreigners' favor. Look, and Trump knew it. Because what did Trump get rid of first? Y'all got mad because he got rid of Martin Luther King Day. He got rid of the Indigenous Peoples Day. He got rid of the Juneteenth, right? But peep game. Y'all also got mad that he got rid of what? DEI. And DEI got rid of what? These foreigners' civil rights. I told you he gonna come after the birthright next. I told you this. Or everything that I'm saying, I already said during the live stream. I told you it was gonna line right up. Because we never benefited from DEI. Foreigners did. Especially their women. Especially their women. Look, I'm trying to tell you. It lined right up. I've been saying this, and I've been trying to tell y'all, it gotta stop. We shouldn't have to wait for Trump to get this done. We could get this done ourselves. All we gotta do is what? Set boundaries. That's all it's about. Dane, do I agree that Trump did away with DEI? You goddamn right. I agree with that. You goddamn right. I even played my part. Gave them my curriculum now. And I dared them to jump. And when they jumped on that Harriet Tubman jump, I was like, oh, handle your business, boy. Handle your business. Then the Democrats got mad because we got rid of Harriet Tubman. from the National Park Service. Listen to who got rid of it. I keep telling y'all that. Not Harriet Tubman's family. I dare you to go get them. I dare you to go get them. Harriet Tubman's family. The National Park Service got rid of that. That's who owns it. And guess who owned them? The Smithsonian. I've been saying this. The Smithsonian been controlling our information. This gotta stop. It gotta come down. And then you think it's cool that the Mormons got your records? You gotta become a Latter-day Saint in order to get your records of your family members? You gotta literally become a Mormon to get the records that they withholding. That's yours, that you got right to. In a cave in Utah. This gotta stop. We gotta set boundaries. That's why I can't knock the Hebrew Israelites out there. I can't knock them because part of that is true, part of that isn't. The part that y'all keep on missing is the Book of Mormons. Who you think they talking about? Pick up the Book of Mormons. Read it. If you're going to read, get off of that one Bible. Read the Book of Mormons. You see that they hinted to America in the Bible? Okay, further investigate. Don't stop right there. Y'all was saying America was Egypt. Hold on, you not finished. You not finished? Don't stop right there because you got comfortable. These people was not your friends. You got this game twisted. Thinking that they had your back. No, they did not. That was their weapon. They couldn't defeat us by fight in the physical. They was defeating us mental. They attacked your spirituality. That's how you get to somebody's spirit, their soul. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they did. That's historically known. This ain't got nothing to do with your religion in that sense. Like I'm trying to bash your religion. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you what happened historically. The Congregation for Propagating the Gospel in Foreign Parts was sent by the London Company, aka the Virginia Company, aka the Virginia Company of London, by way of decree coming from who? King James. Didn't King James write the Bible? And his name wasn't James. The letter J didn't exist then. I told you that. Y'all can't debunk that. I killed y'all with. I killed them with that. The letter J didn't exist then. Look, how come an Italian, they gonna say an Italian created the letter J when the letter J ain't even in an Italian's alphabet? And y'all fell for that. Y'all fell for it. It's not King James, it's King Thames. He was there to tame the kings. He was there. It's not King James. It was King Thames, letter T. I showed you what letter it was. I showed you the writing. He was there to tame the kings. And he was of color. Oh, that was a brother. That ain't a brother of ours. You can keep that. Oh, but he know how to speak English and Hebrew and whatever languages that they translated in. And they got English wrong. It was never called English. It was English. Anglo. That's a tribe. Anglo. Not just the Anglo-Saxons before they got with the Sac. Those are two separate, hold on. Those are two separate tribes. Anglos, Saxons. Then they came together. My documentary about to come out on that. I'm giving y'all fair warning. Fair warning. Your little religious beliefs are gonna get crushed. Because they lied to you. They lied to you. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to make enemies neither. You could agree. You could also disagree. That's up to you. I'm putting out the information that I researched. You take it or leave it. My research ain't based on Google and Chat GPT and some TikTok video and shit like, that's not me. Some article in newspaper. That's not how I work. I don't play no games. None. Never had played games. The only game I'm playing is Resident Evil. And look at how Japan was telling you about the vaccine then. With Resident Evil telling you about the virus. Right then and there. And was it the hive up underground? Umbrella? That's the government? Who know about it? I'm playing Resident Evil music right now. Who know about it? They been exposed them. I swear to God, if I play a Resident Evil intro to one of their games right now, y'all gonna think that's right now. Guaranteed. Y'all gonna think that was happening right now. They was on point in 1992. They already knew what time it was. Mind you, something came from Wuhan, right? China. It was China. It was China. No, China. China. Right? All pre-planned. Already mapped out. Like everybody want me to talk about Agenda 2030. I've been talked about Agenda 2030. What more you need me to say? Because it's not about being, okay, for example, it's not about being the quickest to put out the information or anything like that. It should be properly explained, number one, in detail, okay? Number two, a solution has to come behind that. Okay, we know the issue. What are we gonna do about it? And see, the number one thing that I do for sure is the fact that I bring awareness so that conversation can start about doing something about it. We can't just sit there and not say nothing. That's why I was like, them people that keep saying that we from Africa, where they at? All they doing is separating us. That's all they doing. And meanwhile, the Africans ain't got our back. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's true. They don't got our back. I'm talking about in large mass. Not the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 that you can pick. Same thing with the South Africans. Same thing with the the South Americans. And same thing with the Central Americans. Not all of them gonna have our back. It's up to us. And we ain't even got each other's back. But everybody else got that shit together, and we don't. The Central Americans gonna take care of their people. The South Americans gonna take care of their people. What about us? What about it? When we gonna do it? What's stopping us? It's us. And ain't no white man this and this law that. We stopping it. We could, all of us, 100 and look, I'm gonna tell you how easy it is. 100,000 of us could get up tomorrow and say, nah, that currency don't belong to us no more. Start up a currency and make sure it's valuable amongst us. Make that spread amongst the community. Now that little dollar bill, that's not accepted over here. Ooh, we could turn it upside down. That's not inaccessible. That's achievable. Anything that you put your mind to, you can make it reality. We need to have control over everything, y'all. Not just the currency. Again, like I said before, we had it before. But even before white supremacy came in 1890. White supremacy came in 1890. They started their own constitution in 1871. Then 1890 is when they got good with their folks. It was like, all right, let's make it happen. Then it came the top of 1900s. They infiltrated you. They created the new Negro. When you was busy with that, they was creating citizenship. They was creating citizenship for immigrants again. Doing it over. And by the way, the law that I was talking about that happened in 1790, the 1790 Immigration Act, that never changed. Remember when I said from 1790 to 1952 that the only classification of race was white? It still is. The only thing that came in 1952 was that they added in more immigrants. That was it. The status is still white. What's the difference between you writing black and you making it blank on your citizenship? Correction, on your when the U.S. Census come and ask you, what's your citizenship? What's the difference? What is your right? See, you already messing up. You thinking that you got civil rights? You thinking that you got birthrights, and what you do, but the government don't gotta acknowledge that unless you do first. It's not about having a lawyer speak for you. It's about you speak for you. Lawyer Esquire, they got a title. They're up under the British Crown. The British Crown is running the government. They never backed out. Breton. The original name, Breton. Right? The same name that they tried to use for this lame ass and it didn't stick. Breton. Remember we showed you that? Breton. Corey, thank you for the Cash App. Those of y'all that donated too, I'm about to Wayne and Eriqua Firebird, I appreciate that. Isaiah, James, I appreciate that. Oh, okay, Eriqua Firebird, I appreciate that. Let me drop a bomb.
It's up.
I saw it popping up, but when y'all know I'm in the zone. Because I be wanting my people to know so bad, and it's not hard. They just gotta know that this gotta be the trending topic. It's not about what celebrity did this and who's separating now and this person got a baby mother with this and that person fighting. It's not about that. It's about our people. Oh, this new movie coming out and this new music coming out. It's not about that. It's about our people. Because if we don't get together, this generation, about these issues that we had in the past and fix them now, no, the future is not promised. But the great thing about that, on a positive note, is that a lot of people paying attention now. A little late to my liking, but a lot of people paying attention now. A lot of shit. Y'all tired of tolerating that bullshit from these foreigners. And I'm here to, hold on. I'm here to give you a round of applause. It's about time. You gotta set boundaries. Otherwise, they're gonna try to walk you over. We can't allow this no more. It's 2025. Okay? I mean, according to the Gregorian calendar. And see, that's another thing. They created the time to be their way. Okay? To be the calendar. All right, I ain't gonna change the subject. It's so many things I could talk about. And I am. And I'm still gonna talk about it. That's why I like when I get in these conversations and everything comes to me like that, so I can ramble. Because there's certain things that's gonna pick up on certain people. And I recognize that part of teaching is necessary versus just me pushing something on screen, for example, and explaining it the best way possible. Sometimes some people learn based off of having conversation like this, especially with me being on camera. And I appreciate that because then they can see who is that voice behind that. And I'm the same way. Like I might go up and down in weight, my hair get longer, shorter, You know, the beard, long or short. I'm still the same Dane Calloway. I have not changed. Not one time. I have not changed not one time. And yeah, them foreigners gonna be mad because you trust me, but I guarantee you that I'm a source that you can trust. Guaranteed. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not gonna turn my back on you. This ain't about the money. This ain't about me. This about us. And look, and when, remember all them people that got mad and said they ain't wrong, they ain't don't know what to talk. Where they at now? Where they at now? They crying, thinking birthright citizenship got to do with them. And it exposed the fact that they are indigenous to this landmass here. They mad at that, y'all. They just sent me videos of Umar Johnson saying he indigenous to this land. Tariq Nasheed saying he indigenous to this land. Everybody changing their tone now. Woke these niggas up here. Woke them up. I kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. I did not stop. I did not care who got mad. Oh, he said Harriet Tubman not real, because she ain't. Notice how you want to hold that over me, but where your evidence at? I showed you mine. That wasn't just talk. And I said the same thing about Nat Turner, not Frederick Douglass. Y'all need to stop saying that. People out there talking about something, I said that about Frederick Douglass. No, I did not. It was Nat Turner. Nat Turner was created by Thomas Redfern Gray. And Sir Bradford created the story of Harriet Tubman. Those are the authors. Documented. They were created by acts of Congress. I've been put this out. She got family members. Yeah, and I'm related to Superman. Yep. Y'all don't know. Superman had family. Superman had a sister and a brother. I'm related to Superman. Same thing. That's what they did. They wanted y'all to attach yourselves to these stories. I'm not trying to say that the story couldn't have been about someone, but it wasn't her. That story could have been about someone, but it wasn't him. They didn't exist. Proved it. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. See, y'all stand on business. I stand on principle. Big difference. You ain't got them principles in order, what's gonna happen? Ain't got them boundaries set, what's gonna happen? Going back to what I said. I love y'all to death, and I know we could do it. It ain't hard. We could do it. We did it before, and I showed you how we were living. I showed you how we did this before. I dared y'all to tell me how Frederick Douglass made tens of thousands of dollars back then. Some of y'all was like, Dane, it's because he owned a newspaper. It's because he owned a newspaper. He had a mansion, a butler, a maid, a needy wife first go round. His assistant was white. Then he started messing around with her as a second wife after his first wife passed. Long story. He got good with a couple of people. As far as presidents are concerned, they made him their sheriff, their U.S. Marshal. I showed you how much he was getting paid as a U.S. Marshal. How did he save the Freedmen bank accounts? Banks. Banks. He saved the banks from collapsing using tens of thousands of, that's their quote, tens of thousands of dollars of his own money. Where he get that money from? He ain't make that as no goddamn, at no newspaper. Not back then. He ain't make that as a U.S. Marshal. Where you think he got that from, y'all? I showed you this. Yeah, he remodeled the kitchen, added a stove, and he added on to his house in D.C. I'm from D.C. House up on a hill here. And before all those houses got taken down that was around his house, that was nothing but houses up on that hill. Nothing. I was literally 5 minutes away from his house where I was born and raised. 5 minutes away from Frederick Douglass. 5. Right down the street. Southeast Minnesota Avenue. I'm from D.C. I ain't from Virginia, Maryland. I'm from D.C. I don't know. I'm so D.C. it's my initials. Frederick Douglass had land, too. Y'all need to see that land around his house. Land. Land. Acres. Wrap around. They said he had a horse and a carriage. Where he get this money from? Playboy was, hey. Where he get this money from now? Look, listen, I'm going to tell you something. The same people, listen, that Martin Luther King was getting his money from. Remember, and this is no disrespect to Malcolm X at all, but I want y'all to peep game. Remember when Malcolm X's wife, that interview after he got killed, and she was saying basically that he left us with nothing? They didn't have any money? Listen. Malcolm X was doing it for free. No money. And he had children. The problem was that he was calling out the leader that was feeding him. He was biting the hand that fed him. That's why I keep telling y'all that Malcolm X kind of, sort of did it to himself at the wrong time. Okay? That was literally the man that was paying your bills, feeding your family, okay, and put a roof over your head. And you went behind his back. Okay? At the wrong time. That wasn't it. That should not have been I agree that you should have called him out for doing what he was doing with them young children. But I don't think that was at the right time. Absolutely not. The FBI ain't had to do nothing. The CIA ain't had to do nothing but sit back and watch. They got it all on tape. Audio and everything. This is on tape. This assassination. I seen it myself. On tape. Malcolm X assassination is on tape. You even see the guy, get your hand out my pocket. All that's on tape. I ain't talking about no movie. I'm talking about you can put in the Freedom of Information request and see if you can stomach watching that. Right in front of his family now. Don't forget that. In front of his children. They tried to tell you that Martin Luther King died in the hospital. No, Martin Luther King died on the spot because Martin Luther King got shot in the eye. Half of his face was blown off. The FBI got that because it was an African CIA agent that was taking pictures. That was right there. Taking pictures. Soon as he dropped. Soon as that African guy snapped the pictures, he left. That was it. He was there to confirm the assassination. And that was the military that took him out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can look this up. The King family sued the government for 1 penny so they could put that information out. This is out. I have all of those records. I have everything. All of the transcripts, everything. I have it all. Y'all could get it too. I'm telling you that because you could get it too. You can see who should be held or who was held responsible. Okay? Now, what I was surprised about, and I'm still looking for Trump to do this, he said he got some more MLK papers. I said, oh yeah? Please don't show me the one where he was messing around with them girls. I understand that. He young. I agree, y'all. He shouldn't have been doing that to his wife. Okay? He shouldn't have. But he young. He pretty women around him. They, you know, they was pretty. And he was young. But I hope that's not it. I hope that's not what they're referring to. But yeah, he was cheating on his wife. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They got it all too. And they real petty. The FBI was, the FBI was recording that. They was recording video camera, audio. They got all that. I hope it's going to be more than just that. But I doubt it very seriously. I think that's what it's going to be. When they come to JFK, that got quiet. You said it was like 36,000 more records. Where they at? I'm just saying. RFK. What RFK records at? Trump. That's why I say, y'all, Trump say certain things and don't do them. And that could be because of a lot of other factors. I'm not trying to put it all on him. But y'all got to admit that he do renege on a lot of stuff that he say. And I'm unbiased, so I can say that. I'm not a Democrat nor Republican. But it is a lot of stuff he reneged on. Remember? He said he was going to stop the IRS. He was about to end tax. Oh my God, man, what? And I was like, please, Dave, don't get excited. You know that somebody just coming up with that. I said, man, shoot, I see that first one pass. I said, oh, wait a minute, he about to get rid of IRS for real. Nope. We're just going to restructure it. We're going to, no. We're going to do tax cuts. Tax cuts. I was like, tax cuts? Okay. How about get rid of them? What happened? He reneged. We're going to do tax cuts. I was so mad, bruh. You know how much money we would have saved? Man, what? Oh my God. Everybody would have benefited. I swear to God. Never mind, let me stop. I'm just saying, bro. This another reason why we need our own. Indians ain't supposed to be taxed no way. But we messed around and became citizens. See? Indians wasn't supposed to be taxed. But we messed around and became citizens. Fighting for citizenship. Did they fight for citizenship? Why were we the only ones fighting for citizenship? It make everybody else an American, but not us. And then they telling you the sob story. You came off of a slave boat. You were sold into slavery. And you still falling for that. Name one of y'all got no record of that here. Name one of y'all. I still ain't see a slave record. You know how long I've been doing this? You know how many people I talk to? And you know how many records I done seen? Not one time, still to this day, has anybody showed me a so-called slave record at all. Because number one, here's what you're gonna have. You're gonna have an emancipation or a manumission. Paperwork that's gonna look like a contract, a legal binding contract. You're gonna be employed from this day to that day. Then y'all got mad because I told y'all it's employment. That's what slavery was about. Employment. Nah, but they ain't getting paid nothing. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But I feel where you coming from because you getting paid pennies to their dollars right now. So what makes you think it was any different back then? The only way that was free labor is if you were a part of the chain gang. When they arrested you for no reason. It goes back to the private prisons. What we said earlier, 35, 45 a head. Yeah, that's free labor. That's the free labor. That's it right there. You ain't putting it together, huh? Don't forget the so-called slave master got to take care of you. Food, clothing, shelter, allegedly, right? What makes you think that they ain't paying for you? That can't happen right now. You wouldn't want nobody's stinky body coming around your house, building up the rest of your house, fixing on your farm, like you touching your crops. You don't want that. That don't make sense, do it? I'ma beat on her. I'ma beat on him because they didn't do anything. They'll take the beating. If they don't want to do anything, if they being mistreated, they ain't gonna do nothing. But see, I see how they condition your mind into accepting being mistreated. Uh-oh. So you won't ever think that you're being mistreated today? They telling you that they were being mistreated back then worse than how it is today. And don't the elders always say, man, this is nothing like back in the day. Man, yeah, we had it better than this. Uh-oh. So that means that back in the day, it was better than how it is now? You mean to tell me it got progressively worse? Yeah. Because did it get progressively better? Oh! I love critical logical thinking. I love this. I could do this all day long because I know people catching it. I know they are. Y'all need to be clipping this. Y'all know TikTok about to ban me. Y'all need to be clipping this and put it on TikTok. Go ahead. If you get monetized, oh well, congratulations. Clip this. Clip everything you need that need to be heard. Clip it. Clip it. Come on, I know y'all been doing, Dane, I'm scared that you gonna strike me. I would do it if you do it with malicious intent. I would kid your, I would put foot to tail. Don't get it twisted. I would take this belt off and put you across my legs and whoop your butt. If you do anything with malicious intent and it got my content in it. So you gotta set boundaries. What'd I say? All right, I'm gonna get my sexy ass up off of here. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow because I know it's getting late. Y'all want me to open up the panel tomorrow? Y'all come up in here and we talk about this? Because notice I could have made this super long and I could have went into a big ass segment. Of course but I did that so many times. But that's why I was like, this time, let me just have a conversation. That way, when we talk tomorrow, oh, wait a minute, I may not be able to do it tomorrow. I may not be, let me tell y'all why. Real life, me and my wife's anniversary is tomorrow.
It's up.
So, yeah, me and my wife's anniversary is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
So, yeah, me and Mrs. Calloway anniversary is tomorrow.
Set it on fire. Fire. Fire.
In 5 minutes, actually. So, Sunday, I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna handle that Sunday for sure. I'm gonna see y'all Sunday for sure, and I'll open up the panel. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, if I do go live tomorrow, I don't know. As a matter of fact, I can't. Let me not make no promises. I don't know because I don't know. Tomorrow is us. Tomorrow is us for sure. And look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's gonna be an all-nighter, I may not go live on Sunday. Cause listen. You know how you gotta put in work on the anniversary night, right? Oh, am I going too far? Oh! Let me get off of here. Let me, cause y'all, I'm gonna keep it PG. Never mind, y'all go ahead. I ain't going. Cause I ain't, you know. But let me do my shout outs before I get up out of here, cause I done seen. Oh, let me come up. Wait a minute, let me come up to right here. Yeah. Okay, Sylvester, thank you for the
set it on fire. Fire.
Indigenous Stallion, I think I did that. I did say that. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Yeah, I said that. Oh, let me come down. Yeah, Blackbeard, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, brother. And Trail, much love from Dallas, Texas. Yeah, I did read that. Hold on. Prayers, the investor. Sent you my dad's paperwork via Discord, but you never responded. I know you're busy. Oh, yeah, Prayers. But I will do it, though. I'm glad you sent it. I will.
It's up.
But I do be in there, Prayers. I'm gonna check it out for sure. Ethan, thank you for another donation.
Set it on fire. Fire.
Byron, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate that. And Letitia, thank you for the 5.
Set it on fire.
Byron, thank you for the donation, Byron. You came in and doubled up. I appreciate that. Lee Evans, thank you for the donation.
It's up.
Let's say okay, Choppy Green, thank you for the donation. Keep chin-checking these motherfuckers, Dane. Love and support from Rochester, New York.
Set it on fire.
What up, New York?
Fire.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. Chief Ride the building.
It's
what up, Chief Ride? James Brown, thank you for becoming a member. VLS, thank you for becoming a member. Ricky Cherry, 61 months in a row.
Set it on fire. Fire.
What up, Rick? Divine, been a member for 11 months in a row. I appreciate
it's
that.
Up.
What up, Divine? The real Birdman Jr., what's going on, brother? I ain't seen
set it on fire.
You said I will reach out to you on 13%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm not gonna be in there tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's our anniversary. But anyway, so y'all understand. Where am I at? The Truth Trail, thank you for the donation.
It's up.
He said,
it's go time, Phil.
The dream, they the real Americans, Dane. Oh, they dream that they the real Americans.
It's up.
James Brown, thank you for the donation. Yeah, they do. 300 degrees, 61 months in a row. Hey, what happened to my?
It's up.
Oh, okay. 61 months in a row. I appreciate that. 3,000 degrees. What I say? I hope I said 3,000 degrees. What's going on, brother? You know what? Hey, real talk, brother. I probably done messed up like twice already throughout the time I've been seeing you on the channel. You probably done got 2 videos of mine where I messed it up, didn't I? James Brown, thank you for the donation. You said the same people who decide if it's not how she makes it look. Right. I agree. Talking about that girl. Yeah, because y'all was saying that earlier. This was about an hour ago. Samara, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Lady G, thank you for the gifted. Lady MG. First Amendment Freedom, thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate that. James Brown back with another donation. You said those mosquitoes F me up. Yeah, I did a segment on the mosquitoes again. I'm trying to, tell people what's up with that. That's on the channel right now. Isaiah, thank you for the... Wait, what happened? Wait, why everything just disappeared? Hold up. Okay, there you go.
What?
Yeah, YouTube tripping. Thank you for the, okay, thank you for the donation. It popped back up. I appreciate that, Isaiah. And then Eric White Firebird.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
Oh, I got the. She said keep teaching, Chief. Yeah, we ain't gonna stop. I appreciate that, sister. Big hugs. Big hugs. I appreciate that. Wayne Pennington Jr., thank you for the donation. He said, dang, don't miss. I appreciate that. James Brown with another donation. You said trending topic. Yep. We should have made that the trending topic. Yes, I agree. That should be the trending topic. Joe Mack, thank you for the, becoming a member. Vic Vegas Game Station, thank you for becoming a member. And Hood Stars AMG, thank you for becoming a member. GQ, been a member for 32 bucks.
Set it on fire. Fire. Fire.
Mob Dukes, been a member for 27 bucks in a row. Yeah, I remember that. You said, Wado, Dane, happy anniversary. I appreciate that. Thank you, sister. I appreciate that. Divine, thank you for the coffee. I appreciate that. Thank you for the dono. I appreciate that. Let me drop a bomb.
It's up.
I do want some coffee. Prez, been a member for 4 bucks in a row. Hey, welcome aboard, Prez. Thank you. No, thank you, Prez. I appreciate that. Blue Dreamer, I appreciate that.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
We love you, Callaways. I appreciate that. And we love you too. Curly Girl been a member for 12 bucks in a row. Goddamn.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
Happy anniversary. I appreciate that, y'all. Wanted to thank you for the donation. Say happy anniversary. Thank you, y'all. Preston been a member for 7 bucks in a row. I appreciate that.
It's up.
Nikki Brown said thank you, Wado. I appreciate that. Yep. Okay, wait a minute. I think every time. Okay, there you go. It's refreshing right now.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
See, Blackfoot Niji been a member for 4 bucks in a row. I appreciate that. He said thank you for assisting me in our work. Enjoy your anniversary. Yeah, we gonna I may get a bottle of wine. I may get a bottle of wine. Drop some suggestions of some good wine. I'm telling y'all, if y'all suggest a bottle of wine that's trash, moderators block them. Block them. If y'all suggest a wine that's trash, mods, block them. I'm watching you. Miss Prez Love, thank you for the donation. You said happy anniversary, Callaways, you are best. We appreciate all that you do. We head down. Salute 13% community. Absolutely.
Set it on fire. 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 Fire.
We thank you for the donation. He said beats. Shut up. Come on now. Anniversary. Happy anniversary. I appreciate that. You be telling the secrets. Chill. They don't know about the beats. You know what I'm saying? The BEETS. They don't know about.
Set it on fire. Fire. Fire.
They don't know about
Fire.
that.
Fire.
Faith is all we need. What's going on? Thank you for the 17 months in a row.
It's up.
I love the Callaways. We love you too. And I will maintain. I like that affirmation. That's a good name. I will maintain. Thank you for becoming a member. I like that. Very positive affirmation. I like that. I like that a lot. Matter of fact, yeah.
It's
I
up.
like that a lot. That's good affirmation right there. Tyler Brown, thank you. Oh, you've been a member for 24 months in a row, but you say happy anniversary, my brother. I appreciate that, Tyler. I appreciate that. Ben, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. All right. So, yeah. It's our anniversary already. It's our anniversary for some of y'all on the East Coast. It's 11 o'clock for us. You know what I'm saying? It's 11 o'clock for us. So I got about an hour to get myself together. Because I'm about to start attacking it right now.
It's up.
Let me stop. All right, let me stop. I'm just playing. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. I'm just playing. Y'all get on my nerves. Y'all better not clip that. That's why I was up on the mic anyway. You couldn't even see what I was doing. You couldn't even see what I was doing. You can't clip that. Chief, this Tubman's, thank you. I appreciate that, sister.
It's up.
Sister Calloway, love y'all. Beats on deck. Listen. Listen, you know. So your jaw drop some wine? Gnarly head. Wait, gnarly head? Uh-oh. Hold, let me screenshot some of these. Hold up. Wait a minute. Drop some of these again? Huh? Oh, you screenshotted it? Did y'all screenshot this? Fonseca Port red wine organic? Hey! Hold up! If I see, I swear to God, if I see a $20 bottle of wine, I'm blocking you. You sent so many wines? I ain't gonna lie, I was looking at this screen, y'all. I apologize. I'm on mute? No, I'm not. I'm not on mute. Wait, am I on mute? Nah. I'm not on mute. You tripping. Man, I need that though. Blue, did you take you took screenshots of what they were saying? Of the wine? No? God damn it. I missed it, y'all. I missed it. I ain't gonna lie, I missed that. Can y'all tweet me some of them names? Can y'all follow me on Twitter or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause, I want a few of, you know, I ain't trying. Some good ones now, not no bull crap. Give me some good ones. See, Malbec, Argentino. See, I need this though. I need to be able to screenshot this. Chateau St. John. Woo, y'all naming some joints. Wait, you said it was an area up $160 bottle? I mean, it gotta be good though. It gotta be good. If it's gonna be if I'm paying $160 on some drink, that man, I better see the creator. I better be able to see the creator. I better be able to fly. What, $160? I'm talking about the wings gotta start coming up. If don't give me wings, it ain't $160. Maybe like 16 cents. Temple, thank you for the donation. You said get some Blue Label. Happy anniversary. Get some Blue Label. I never heard of that. Hey, y'all teaching me. Somebody say remain clear-headed. I mean, yeah, we still gonna be clear-headed, but there's nothing wrong with winding down for a little second. I mean, you know, just for a little second, you know, ain't nothing wrong with that. But we definitely stay level-headed, clear-headed. We do, for sure. For sure. I appreciate that though. They gonna give you the 2021 bottle unopened. I heard the longer that wine lasts or been around, the better. Old grapes is the best grapes. Is that true? I don't know. Happy anniversary. I appreciate that, Nikki. Nah, we won't do no smoking. But I mean, we don't do no drinking either. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's just that one-time thing. They ain't gonna pass out sipping? Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm probably barely gonna have I'm probably gonna have like a little, I wish I had something right here. I'm probably gonna have like a little bit of something. It ain't gonna be, you know, the older the better. Nikki said Sunday it is. Shrooms? Hell no. What? No, I'm not no drug. I'm not a drug abuser. I'm not. What are y'all, like, real talk? What's going on? Like, what? Y'all want me up in here high? You talk about giving a lesson and man, what? Nah, that can't happen. Can Chief handle what y'all recommended? Chill, hold up. Yeah, shrooms are awesome. They only make you laugh. I'm not doing, no, that's out. Bye, y'all. Bye. Ain't nowhere in the world, bro. I can't believe y'all suggest the shrooms. Love what you do. Please don't stop. I tell everyone about. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the love too. Yes, that's what the phrase, just like fine wine, age better with time. Okay, true. Y'all so silly. Yeah, I'm not touching y'all. That's out. I'm not touching. Yeah, that's out. So yeah, let me get to my wife. Y'all gonna try to get me in trouble. I'm not talking about no trouble. I'm talking about a good time, not no trouble. Damn this generation. Oh, we got work to do. We got work to do. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all Sunday. Yeah, I ain't gonna do too much. I'm gonna see y'all Sunday. We gonna be good. So I'm gonna see y'all Sunday probably like after 1 o'clock. I'm gonna see y'all Sunday. Then y'all take care. Have a good one. I appreciate that, Tank. I appreciate that. Like, all the love, y'all. I appreciate that. What up? Hey, apartment 217. I just shouted you out the other day on the video of mine too. I reposted that. Y'all need to check that out. All my stuff that I reposted, y'all didn't even get a chance. It's okay. I took myself out the goddamn algorithm posting 9 shorts. That was my fault. So we'll see. We'll see. See y'all Sunday. Y'all take care. I love y'all. Wado. Wait, my ending button not on here. Uh-oh. Hold up. I need to end the stream. Okay, here we go. I'm just here to make you think.
Yeah, DNA.